Well, you know, I think when Costco came into Taiwan, which was how many years ago now?
We opened our first warehouse in Kaohsiung 1997.
Wow, that's been a
It's
while.
been around
Yeah,
15,
yeah.
16 years, yeah.
And I'm sure, and you've probably been thrown these kind of, doubts about opening a warehouse club like this, is homes in Taiwan are smaller than the ones in the States, and people just couldn't imagine stocking up because we don't have a pantry or, a storage room. And then they all come in huge packages, And how come, despite all those doubts and everything, Costco has become so successful in Taiwan?
It's interesting, and it's very similar to every place where we do business in the world, not just in North America, but also in Asia and also in Europe, in Australia now. Is people figure out that there's value in what we sell.
Okay.
So value is high quality merchandise at the very lowest possible price. Once they figure that out, they will find a way to consume that food item, or find a way to use that sundry item. A lot of people, what they do is they share. So you could see people out in front of the parking lot, and they will break down the package and give two to you, two to you, and two to you, and they'll take it home. Same with fresh foods. You will not believe people come in here, they'll buy our meat packs or our muffins and split it right on the site. And then he'll go home and she'll go home and they'll go to their homes. And that's okay. That's okay. We also have another, I would say, another variable that the other retailers don't have is we have our business member. And our business member are restaurants or hotels or office buildings. And you know what? They need the big packs because they need to resell it.
So would you say those are your main clients?
We really a hybrid. We have really two. Our main customers here are really households.
Oh,
but we do have that business member component.
Yeah.
And with that business member component, we can offer larger volumes and reduce our per item cost. And everybody benefits from that.
Yeah.
But going back to your original question is quite interesting because I heard all of that as well. And my counterpart in Korea and my counterpart in Japan, they heard the same.
Right.
And
well, I'm a member of Costco, and I had those doubts in the beginning too.
and it's funny because we go in and we have meetings, and everybody has the same stories that people figure it out. If I can buy something that's 50% less than where I can buy it from at a department store or at a regular supermarket, I will find a way to utilize it, to consume it. I will find a way.
You've actually taught us a lesson.
That's right.
It's to use our brains and try to figure out ways. There's always a solution to everything, right?
And I think people like it when they figure, hey, I got a deal on this. Even though it's maybe more than I can use. But you know what, though? I got such a good deal. I cannot not buy it. And that's what we call our impulse sales. So, for instance, our members came in and they wanted to buy a shopping list of maybe 4 or 5 items, and they walk out with a shopping cart of 20 or 30 items because the products there, number one, are very unique, and number two is they provide great value. So all of a sudden they see this cashmere sweater and they say, wait a minute, I don't need it, but it is so much value. In the department stores, it's 40, 50, 60% more. So they put that in their cart. And so we have what we call the treasure hunt. People walk around and they look at these new items and they say, wow, I only see this at the boutique. I see this brand name at the boutique, and now Costco's selling it, and it's 50% cheaper. And they put that in their cart. So that's kind of the uniqueness of shopping at Costco.
Oh, really, really. So I can see that, the items that you choose to be sold in Costco, you pertain them to probably Taiwanese, population. But then there are certain things that Taiwanese people don't know or have never eaten before, have never seen before. And I see that you put up a stand, like a tasting stands and all that. So that's really interesting. But just exactly how do you decide what would sell in Taiwan, what wouldn't?
That's an interesting question because it's so interesting that the good items that sell in Taiwan also sell well in Japan, Korea.
Okay.
And the good items that sell in the U.S.
Because we're all Asians?
Well, good items people figure out because they're good value. Okay. So whether you're Chinese or you're Canadian or you're Mexican or you're from the UK, if it's a good item and there's value to it, it usually does well internationally, globally. So I'll give you an example is what sells well. We have mixed nuts.
Yes.
And they're a mixed
I've got one
nuts.
upstairs.
They have cashews, they have almonds, they have macadamia, and nut prices is a commodity. And in recent years, nut prices have gone way up. But we offer high quality product at a very, very reasonable cost. And it sells well everywhere. It sells well in Korea, in Japan, in Taiwan, Canada. So that item itself, because there's so much value there, and it's so widely accepted by everybody, it does well globally.
All right.
Another one is our men's Kirkland Signature dress shirt.
Okay.
It's a very simple dress shirt. It's a very high quality cotton. In Taiwan, it's probably around $13, $14. And it's done by the factories that make all the department store products and all the brand name products. So the quality and the craftsmanship is second to none.
Right.
But it works well in every country because men who work need to have dress shirts. And dress shirts, it's almost a disposable item. You use it for a few years, whatever, and you throw it away because of the wear and tear on the dress shirt. And they come to Costco, and it sells well everywhere. So items like that, we have a whole bunch of items that are like that.
Yeah.
But again, we want to provide the best value so people can understand that. And when they look at it and they compare it with department store or other retailers, they say, wow, there really is a savings to it.
Right. That is great. Now, you didn't think that you were going to come back for 16 years, and it's going on 17.
That's right.
What's your plan? I know that you would like to be able to share what you've learned or all the values that you have to young people. And, in America, they have the term life coach, and it's becoming popular, and you would like to become a life coach. So in what way?
I think, life coach is interesting because life encompasses everything. And a coach is like a coach or a mentor.
Right.
And I think in my experience, I was able to relate to a coach, probably almost as good, if not better, than, say, a parent, if you will. Because, parents always have that parental pressure, if you will. But a coach kind of comes in and is more of a friend, but yet has a wealth of experience to share. And being a life coach is not only in sports, but what I've learned and what I've gone through in life, hopefully I can share that with the young people. So whether they want to follow my footsteps is good, whether they want to look at it as a reference, which is great, or whether they want to avoid the pitfalls that I've went through is good as well. And I think that would be a great transition to one day when I retire, and hopefully I don't retire too old, and I still have energy to help young people, both on the court as well as in life. And I think there's so many parallels between athletics and life that they're really interlinked. And what you learn on the court, positive, can transfer right over into your everyday life.
Have you been trying to relay that message to the education ministry?
I would love to. Yeah, I would love to engage
Seriously?
in them. And I think that, I have really deep discussions with my wife on that. And I think try to promote a balance between education and other aspects of life.
Right.
And have a balance, because I think the young people need that balance.
Right.
You just can't have all of one thing.
Because Taiwan's just too much into study, and no play. And with all the bushi-bound cram schools, I mean, what can we do,
Well, I think we need to encourage young people to get out there and to, number one is that academics in the simple form is not everything in life.
So you're saying not to educate the parents, more the young people, so that they would have their own way of thinking, that they would, stand up for what they believe in, because talking to the parents is a little futile now?
No, I think you still have to go to the parents.
Okay.
You have to talk to the parents because it's really going to be a team effort. Teachers, institutions, parents, and the students themselves. It really has to be up and down. It can't just be one part of that because it won't work because you have conflict. You have conflict. If the parent doesn't buy into it, it's never going to work. If the teacher, if the institution doesn't buy into it, it won't work.
Okay.
It really has to be up and down. And I think that I've interviewed, hopefully I can share with them my experience as an employer.
Yeah.
And I've interviewed a lot of people who have beautiful resumes. But when you interview them, you say, wow, where's the experience? not only the experience from a job perspective, but where's the life experience? And I like to see that. I like to see people who've worked very different jobs and worked at a very young age because they've taken that responsibility at a young age. I think a lot of the kids, not just in Taiwan, but the kids nowadays have been very sheltered. And all they have to do is get good grades. But that's not all about life.
Right.
And I tell you, I look at resumes and I don't think I've ever looked at the grade point average. Because to me, that's not important.
I know what you mean.
What is important is what kind of experience do you have? What have you done?
Right.
And what will let me know something about you? And what will let me know that you are going to be a value and an asset to my organization? And I think that's key.
All right. Thank you so much, Richard.
Well, thank you for having me.
You inspire me with that positiveness about, life and perspective of life. But I hope you keep on sharing that with young people. They really need to hear this.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to engage in you and also into the audience. And I'd like to do it again soon.
All right, great.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching, people. I'm Shirley Lin.